What's up guys, Ddubs Garage here. We're back again, and in this one I'm going to give you the simplest how-to on how to do spark plugs. On this one, it's for my 9.3 convertible. So let's go ahead and get to it. Here's everything you guys are going to need. I'm going to put a list up right now, just so if you need it, you can pause the video and take your time and get everything that is actually needed for this specific job. For you 2.0 T owners out there, this will be a nice and easy thing to do that you can knock out by yourself. And just like that, the coils are exposed, nice and easy. So from here, all you're gonna need is your 10mm socket. And again, I only included the ratchet in this video because I figured hopefully everyone has one of those laying around. Not everyone has a gun to zip them off real quick. That's what I would be using if I was trying to hammer this thing out. But if you have a ratchet and a 10mm, you should be totally fine. So this is the part where I'm gonna use my paint pen and mark each coil so we know what goes where, because we're gonna leave them plugged in this time. So as you can see from that last little clip, this is a very good time to check your valve cover gasket. What people don't realize is there are actually seals for the spark plugs as well. And what can happen is if those go bad, because sometimes they do with all the heat coming off the engine, they can actually get brittle and hard and let oil pass them and into where the plug sits. So you'll pull your coils out and they'll be all covered in oil. So as you can see from the last video, this thing's mint, and apparently it's a pretty common problem on Saabs that these valve cover gaskets leak. So I do have one actually just laying around for when that happens, but for now we're looking good. So just another preventative thing, guys. This is what you start to learn when you work on your own car. You can see things that are gonna go wrong or are already starting to, so good stuff there. Now all we gotta do is get our extension and our spark plug socket, and these things are everywhere, guys. The Saabs happen to be 5/8. Sometimes you get some fancy Euro stuff like an Audi. You actually have 12-point and a smaller size. So you will have to look into that before you do it on your car. But on the Saab, you can just get the standard one. And I always recommend the rubber insert. Don't get a magnetic metal one. They've been known to break plugs. So let's go ahead and whip these things out and see how they look. So I would say after probably, I think I maybe put about 20K on this car since I bought it. That's not too bad for the plugs. They don't look fouled out. They actually look like they've been having some pretty good combustion. So obviously everyone has their opinions on what it means when you actually read a plug. But I'm gonna call this nice light brown around the electrode pretty good. So either way, it's never a bad idea. It's like changing your oil. It can never hurt. So we're gonna go ahead and put brand new NGKs in there. I love NGKs. I try to put them in everything I run. So we're gonna go ahead and unbox those and throw them in and see if it runs any better. Just a heads up too, guys, if you're a little bit worried about spark plug gap, most of the time with iridiums, you don't have to mess with that. Obviously, you can always look up online what your specific gap is, but they usually come ready to go, and these look pretty much the same as what came out, so you can usually just go ahead and throw them in. Sometimes they get thrown around in the box and then this electrode is crushed down. Just keep an eye out for that. And then I also always like to look around for cracks around the porcelain, because if this is cracked, you'll have a misfire, no doubt. So always check a new plug just in case. And then this is completely optional. That's why I didn't include it in the tools list, but putting a little dab of anti-seize on there can go a long way if you ever feel like pulling them back out, or if you have to pull them back out. I've had some cars like my sister's where I'm pretty sure the plugs were original, because I had to go beast on them and they were super rusty coming out. Obviously a little scary because if that breaks, that's going to be a really bad day. So it's another one of those preventative things. If you feel like it, go ahead and just put a little dab. You don't have to go crazy with it. And then go ahead and screw it in. Just a quick heads up, guys. When you're tightening the plug in, always start it by hand. Never ever use a gun because you could strip something out and then you're gonna have a terrible day if that happens. Always start it by hand. And then I have actually never torqued a spark plug in my life. You really just need to snug it up so that this crush washer actually crushes and you seal a combustion in, but you don't have to go insane on it, especially with the 3/8 ratchet. Just give it a nice snug and you'll know when the time is. So we're gonna go ahead and put these in. Just snug it up. Just like that, nothing crazy. And don't forget the cover. So that's it for the plugs install, guys. Nice and easy. Now we're gonna go ahead and start it up and see what happens. So believe it or not, that actually started up much faster than it used to. It used to struggle a little bit and then actually get going. This time it was basically started, clicked, and then boom, it was fired up. So improvement already. I'm gonna take it for a spin and see how the drivability feels. But one more thing before I let you guys go. So guys, one thing I really like to do is actually check your service info and put it in a note stock on your iPhone. So essentially, I have everything I've ever done this car at the time and also the mileage. So I'll find the last spark plug change, which was hopefully recently, and just put in the mileage and the date that I just did, so I won't ever lose track of what I've done to the car. Guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and maybe this gave you a little bit of confidence that you can work on your car too. This is a great solve most of the time for either a misfire or sometimes even a random misfire, which can be very scary. So basically, I'm just letting you know, you guys got this. You can work on your cars. It just takes a little bit of know-how and some perseverance. I got some driving to do, so we'll see you next time. And hey, keep those Saabs running.